What's up? It's your boy Carcino here. Let's talk about it. Irv Gotti. You guys been asking me, man, you hear Irv, man, you hear Irv interview, you hear Irv. See, what Irv Gotti does is he's a salamander. And when you're a salamander, this is what you do. And you get to see he acts like he's such a nice guy. Irv is such a wonderful human being. And I just want everybody, it's an opportunity for all of us to eat. And then he goes back to the Ja Rule and Man with X and Ashante and all this stuff. And Irv is talented in his avenue of knowing which artist can do what. He has a talent for that. But then he act like I'm so above anything petty. I'm not even on that. It's enough for all of us to eat and all this, and we can get this and that and this and I don't have nothing against 50. I wish his show success. It's him always coming at me and this, and he plays like he was the nice guy. But this is the guy who, before 50 Cent ever said anything to you, you went ahead and you tried to ban this guy, ban his music, stop him from coming out. When 50 Cent, and a lot of people don't even know, when 50 Cent got signed to be with Eminem, they actually contacted, because they had a good rapport with Irv Gotti and all these guys, like Dr. Dre and all them. They actually had a good rapport over there. So what was put out was, like, look, as long as this dude ain't gonna, come out dissing Ja, then we ain't got no problems. If he ain't gonna come out dissing Murder INC, then we don't have any problems. So they told 50, Eminem and Dre was like, okay, we ain't finna diss Murder Inc. That's not what we finna do. 50 said, all right, cool, we ain't dissing Murder Inc. That was already done. Then they go to XXL and do their interview. And in the interview, they basically sabotaged 50 Cent. In the interview, they basically bragging about how they stabbed him, how they did this. So they damaging the project before it even comes out into fruition. So when you're doing that, now they was like, you know what? They just sandbagged us. They got us to say we weren't gonna do something. Then they went behind our backs and did it anyway. Anybody who was trying to sign 50, they were Bogart. Like, hey, don't you sign 50. Don't sign 50. And it like people were interested in signing 50. So when he got signed by Dre and them and they took the chance, and they was like, all right, you gonna authorize 50 Cent to make records against us, then we'll come shut your company down. And he made that threat to Eminem. And ever since then, it was on. That you felt they were shocked that John Murder Inc. thought they had the power to shut down Jimmy Iovine, the Aftermath Shady Records and everything else. So that was the biggest mistake they've ever made. And it torpedoed the entire process of everything they thought about doing. And then they want to play the victims. We never done nothing to nobody. We're the nicest guys. We don't want to do all these things. All that mouth. All that talk. All that yap, 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 yap. But behind the scenes, God, he show you who he is. He gets full of himself. Mike Geronimo had to check him. in his studios when he went on TV bragging, boasting. He had to get checked. Notice he never mentioned Mike Geronimo. Like if it wasn't for Mike Geronimo, a lot of doors wouldn't have opened up for you at that time. Then, as of recent, after a long hiatus, you've heard nothing from Irv Gotti for years. He had a reality show on one of these BET shows. Now he got to relaunch Murder INC. He was gone. They heard nothing from him. Then all of a sudden, he comes back with Tales from the crypt. Because he's been a ghost for a while, so now it's Tales. And Tales come out and it just wasn't good. I saw the first episode of it and I said, what is this? It seemed like a good idea in the studio and it didn't turn out on film the way it looked like it was going to be. Then 50 comes out and basically just talked about how it was trash, which it really was. It wasn't executed right. So 50's coming to BET. And Irv Gotti says it out his own mouth. The promotional setup for 50 coming to BET was to make it look as if 50 Cent was taking over BET. This was part of the promotional pull. So him saying he was trying to get rid of Tales and get rid of their show and 50 Cent was taking over. This was all part of the marketing scheme. He knew about it. So all of a sudden he said, I'm not going to down his show. I'm not going to say anything else but success to that brother. Then, after the show airs, and a lot of critics say they didn't like it, it was terrible, it was just awful. What do we get from Irv Gotti? Right after he was on Everyday Struggle talking about how he's taking the high road and he's nice and this and that, he comes right out. I wasn't going to say nothing. But you was talking how you was going to take Tails off BET. Ha ha. Let me tell you what the whore did this week with his new BS series, 50 Central. Why you wasn't saying that when you was on Everyday Struggle? You wasn't saying like that when you was on Everyday Struggle. You wasn't talking like that at all. 50 Central was the worst premiere show in BET all year. Both that and the show before it combined to be the worst premieres for BET all year, with ratings so low and responses from the little people who watched it saying it's effing horrible. I didn't watch that BS. It's calling him an effing whore. Right about five. He got about a quadruple paragraph. Then he talked about renting Tails out. You might see Tails on another station. You might see Tails pop. You might see Tails in other formats. I might rent Tails out to people so that they can use it. No, all you are is the workhorse. You're back working for Jimmy Iovine. You're back working for all the people that was at Def Jam. They got you in Viacom and all these people. They just spreaded their wings, brought you in to be the legwork. That's all. They just brought you in because you're a workhorse. That's it. You're not doing anything super special. And here's the thing. I mean, if you want to know who Irv Gotti is, go read that. Instagram page he made a day ago. Go read it. That's who Irv Gotti is. Not the fake guy you see doing interviews, sitting in the chair, acting like he's Mr. Good Guy. He's the guy that goes behind the scenes and type stuff and do stuff and be tough behind the scenes. But when you get in his face or the camera's on him, he wants to play Mr. Nice Guy. Now, if 50 was in front of his face, you think he'll be talking like that? Exactly. So don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. It's your boy Carcino. I'm out.